It's the Senate Judiciary, Friday, May 6, 2022. And I'm joined this morning on H533 by Ben Nowakowski. I hope I pronounced the last name right. Ben's done a terrific job as a rookie. So he got the toughest bills and got one signed into law. So good for you, Ben. Anyway, this is a strike all amendment to H533, which is the forfeiture bill. And at the suggestion of really Sheriff Marcoux of Lamoille County, this creates a drug-related property seizure and forfeiture working group report. So.
Could we call it maybe a commission? Sorry.
Working group.
Sorry about that.
Avoid commission.
Well, unfortunately, I'm having technical difficulties and.
All right, well, why don't we just walk through it
We have copies.
the old-fashioned way.
Yes, it's online and it's.
They created a property seizure and forfeiture working group to study Vermont's use of property seizure and forfeiture processes under federal and state law for drug-related offenses. The membership, the chief judge of the Vermont Superior Court or designee, the attorney general or designee, the state treasurer or designee, the defender general or designee, commissioner of public safety or designee, the executive director of the Department of State's attorney sheriffs or designee, and the president of the Vermont Sheriff's Association or designee, and the president of the Institute for Justice or designee. Any problem with any of those 8 individuals?
Who's number 8?
The president of the Institute for Justice or designee.
What is the Institute for Justice?
That's at the Vermont Law School.
Oh, right. Okay, thank you.
Well, actually, so Ben Overgrowski for Office of Legislative Counsel, the Institute for Justice, Lee McGrath has been the representative of that, and so that's why that was included. But it's the Center for Justice Reform at VLS, if that was.
Yeah, I think that's what you mean, not, isn't Lee McGrath the one that was so pushy about? No, really?
Yes.
Okay, so I think it should be the,
Center for Justice Reform.
is that what it is called?
Yes.
Or should we say at VLS, at Vermont Law School?
Yeah.
Because who knows about it.
Yeah.
And we went back to 2015 to look at the record. 2015 was good because that was the year that we passed the most recent drug forfeiture or forfeiture bill that we thought at the time would be a big help. And we see that it's only been used a few times according to testimony, so that's why we went to 2015.
And, Senator Sears, as you alluded to, so this group will study how law enforcement's used federal and state law to seize and forfeit property since 2015. There will be several topics of study. It shall examine, the date, type, quantity, value, and location of any seized property, is sort of fact gathering the number of state property seizures that are used, resulting in federal adoption. Forfeiture actions commenced using both processes, including the dates of commencement, the type of process used, and why the process was selected. Drug offenses related to any state and federal forfeiture actions, including the date of the offense, the date of final judgment, the plea agreement or other agreement disposing of the matter, whether innocent owners, lien holders, or other interested parties agreed by the seizure, forfeiture, intervened, or otherwise participated in the actions, the outcomes of the forfeiture actions, including the dates of disposition, and whether the property was forfeited, returned, or otherwise disposed, how and when the proceeds of forfeited property were distributed using both processes, including the share received by any law enforcement agencies or prosecutors' offices, how any of the proceeds were used by those offices, and any problems, impediments, or issues with the state process, including impacts on the state court system if it is expanded. and any complaints concerning abuse of the state and federal processes by law enforcement agencies or prosecutors' offices. By December 15th, the working group shall submit a report in the form of proposed legislation to justice oversight. The meetings will be called by the chief judge on or before July 15th. We'll select a chair from its own members, simple majority quorum, and it shall cease to exist on the first of the year.
Okay, maybe we could hear first from the chief superior judge, who may or may not want to be involved.
Good morning, Tom Zone, Chief Superior Judge. Absolutely would support this, and it would be my pleasure to be involved.
Marshal Paul, any thoughts?
Thank you. My testimony is the same as Judge Zone. We are happy to be a participant in this and look forward to digging further into these issues.
May I ask one question
Sure.
about the sunset date? Normally, when we have a study group, we have the sunset date someplace like around the end of January, so that if there are concerns that come up during the legislative session, the group can still respond as a group to concerns or questions.
That sounds like a great idea.
I'm happy to extend it out so to the end of January.
Yeah, it just gives some time for the recommendations to come in and to people start grappling with them, and then have the working group still functioning so they can respond.
Sounds good.
Okay, so that change has been made.
That would be 5.1.
Yeah, 5.1.
Committee, is there a motion to report favorably as amended, draft 5.1? I mean, amend H533 as seen in draft 5.1.
Yes.
Okay. Senator White and Nitka have made the motion. I think we could have a vote. There's a majority of the committees here for. So Peggy, please call the roll.
Senator Benning,
Yes.
Senator Nika,
Yes.
Senator White,
Yes.
Senator Sears.
Yes. I'd be happy to report this.
Regular vote too. That's a vote on the amendment.
Oh, that's right. Thank you, Senator. See, Senator, you can't leave. I'm sorry. Who's gonna keep us honest?
Who's gonna have the encyclopedia of notes?
Yeah, I mean, I can remember the time, one of my favorite times, Senator Nitka, was when we were dealing with a bill that was like 3 years old, and we were updating the bill, and Michelle had forgotten her notes. They were somewhere else, and we're all stumbling around, and there's Senator Nitka goes into her vault, comes back with the notes, and figures the whole thing out. What more can you ask of the committee? I'll never forget that. I mean, that was so beautiful that you had the notes drafted that bill from 4 years ago, and they were, you were able to find them. That's the thing. I mean, I file a lot of stuff, but I'm still looking for my 2016 property tax bill, because I need that to prove that I owned the house when the effective date of the lawsuit on
Oh,
the,
my God, really?
and I can't find it.
Okay, have the tax, have them send you a new one.
Yeah, I've gotta go down to the
Yeah,
town clerk and
yeah,
ask for a new one,
yeah.
but it's that type of thing. I can't find the thing. I know it's somewhere in my basement, but anyhow, I digress. So, Senator Nitka has moved that we report favorably, H533 as amended in draft 5.1.
Are we, is this the first time it's come back to us? I mean, is this the first time we've had this?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
great.
yeah,
Okay.
this bill has never.
Okay, okay,
This is a
Great, yeah.
strike all to the House version of the bill that,
yeah, got it. And then they're gonna have to vote to concur, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think they will.
Can I ask a basic question? Just rolling through my head. The list of people who are on membership. Has there ever been a situation where we have added the lieutenant governor to such a working group?
No,
I
Is
can't
there
remember.
any bar to that happening?
No,
I've never heard of,
no, I don't think there's a bar to it. But I don't remember doing it. There may have been back when Doug Racine was lieutenant governor. He was very involved in some issue. And I think he was like an ex officio. And he was, it was something that he had worked on as a state senator.
Right.
I can't recollect what it was, but I know that he was like involved in whatever the issue was. It was something, it might have been the environmental. Remember when we created the environmental court
Yeah,
and Peter Welsh was the pro temp?
sure he would. He goes on the conference.
Yeah, I think he might have been involved, but I think it was not as lieutenant governor, but rather as a resource, because he had been, he was the chair of the Natural Resources Committee back.
Yeah. Well, my only question, I know one of the 6 candidates happens to have had gone through one of these forfeitures. And I'm thinking, in comparison, for instance, the state treasurer, who was probably never actually gone through one. I understand why there's a reason the state treasurer should be there. But it's just something that rolled through my head.
well,
Put on somebody, put on
Good man.
a citizen
Put a
who has
member of the
been.
Bar Association on.
I don't want to add to the number of characters that are already there trying to struggle through, but
No, someone
The
who's been through it is not a bad idea.
Defender General though is representing the defense bar.
and the Commissioner of Public Safety or designee, certainly they have been through it, as have the sheriff's associations. I mean, that's who does them.
it was just an aside.
Senator Benning, are you concerned with appointing a statewide elected office? Is that?
Well, I think you've got several designees in here who are statewide, so that's not something I see as a bar, but I've just never heard of that particular position. If you had somebody of expertise in there,
Right.
would you recommend that they actually join something like this?
I would,
Okay. Just something that was rolling through my head.
Well, and I
Sorry.
will say Brian Doobie was actively involved in rewrite of the sex offender laws following the murder of Brooke Bennett. He was worked with this committee on that, but again, as an ex officio, if you remember, Senator.
Yeah.
No, I think that the public safety and the sheriff's association and the state's attorneys, they've all been through, I mean, have experience in it, the Defender General and.
I'm not looking to add anybody. I just raised the question because I've never seen it happen.
Well, that was a case that actually that I have more direct knowledge with, because what happened was Kevin Mullen was the minority leader, Peter Shumlin was the pro tem, Brian Doobie was lieutenant governor, and I was chair of judiciary, and the 4 of us met and decided that the Senate would, have formed this judiciary committee along with the other 3, would have a bipartisan look at Vermont sex laws. At the time, Governor Douglas was thinking about calling for a special session of the legislature. None of us thought that should happen. So we went around the state, just as Senate Judiciary, came up with what was, I think, what is currently the Vermont sex offender laws. And Brian was definitely involved in that. I can remember him at the bringing in boxes of stuff at a meeting, and I think it was Winooski or Burlington or something.
But that was because of his interest, not
Because of his
necessarily because
interest
of
in the
his
issue,
LG.
but, we tried to make sure it was a bipartisan thing. I think at the time Mullen was a member of this committee.
yeah, people still.
All right, So there's been a motion to report favorably, H 533 is amended. Peggy, would you please call the roll?
Senator Benning,
Yes.
Senator Nika,
Yes.
Senator White. Yes. Senator Sears.
Yes. I'll report it once Ben has a complete draft.
Should we wait for Phillips to look first, or?
Do we know where he is?
Huh?
I think we know soon.
I think he's coming soon.
I didn't-
I said, do we know where Philip is?
Senator
Yes, he said he was gonna be late.
Oh, okay.
So should we hold the vote open for him?
We can because it's gonna take Ben a while to get the draft.
Well, actually, I just finished it.
Just finished it.
Ted, you're supposed to say it's gonna take me a half an
Well,
hour.
it still needs to be proved and edited.
Oh.
so.
I'm really happy when he.
It's so slow.
It was just those two changes, switching out.
Yeah, there's a couple of changes
And
there.
then, the commission, or not the commission, the working group. We'll see.
Yes, don't call it a commission, please. You know, I made a little hissy fit on the floor yesterday about a commission.
The next few days of you should be very interesting.
Yes, they will be. But I won't be as mischievous today because I don't have my cookie long socks here, so.
Well, we have James Pepper on H
So are you coming back later?
548, which the House has,
Just want to take a picture of them for my daughter.
I think I got that.
No,
Well,
this is a
No,
new
I
one.
don't, you're right.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is,
this is-
she gave me a new one just about 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, it hasn't changed, but here's the official House proposal of amendment, Senate proposal of amendment.
Going on. Michelle, while you're right there, could you just take a picture of Ben and I?
Sure.
Ben has followed the route of my daughter.
This is for the Valley News.
Oh, no.
You're in front of the vault instead of.
Oh, the vault.
Alice,
Yes.
hey, you took the sign off, Alice.
Somebody did.
I think they did it when we weren't here.
Oh.
Did you
To
get more than one?
supervise.
Oh, I got a couple, but you guys
Oh, you
did
got
so
a
good.
couple.
I don't know that you really need more than a couple.
Okay, no, that's great. Thank you, Michelle.
Uh-huh.
Thank you, Ben.
Yeah, my pleasure, thank you.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you.
And if we don't see you again this session, thanks again for all of your hard work.
My pleasure, I'm kicking around, I'll pop in.
Great.
Okay, good.
We're gonna be here next week, too.
Yeah, we're here next.
Yeah, we're here next week, but I don't know
Yeah.
if the committee will meet.
But he'll be around.
Yeah, I'll be,
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
take everybody.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you.
Morning, Michelle.
Who knew Ben was a hockey player?
Wasn't
Yeah. Yeah, he, in
He
fact,
looks like a hockey player.
yeah, in fact, Brian Collmore called a lot, they have these discussions about certain games and when
Oh,
Brian called things on him and, yeah,
Oh, really?
yeah.
High school or
Thank
late?
High
you.
school, no,
This is
yeah, high school.
fortunate from Tim.
Oh, my God, really?
And he wrote a thing I'm supposed to read.
Okay.
Two
Okay.
conditions, only these people in the room.
Yeah.
And there could be no recording while I read.
Oh, okay.
We are on.
We're gonna take a